One question that I get asked quite often by new landlords just entering the student accommodation space is, what is the effect of online learning on the demand for student accommodation right now in 2024? Hi, my name is Retha and I'm the CEO of a company called My Student House. We have thousands of students from over 4 different provinces, and we work with more than 10 different TVET colleges and universities across the country. And this has always been my answer, is that there has been definitely no impact on student accommodation, on the demand for student accommodation at all. Now, if you look back, when did this online learning become a thing? It's always been a question, it's always been something that people have been wondering about. But in 2020, when the students got sent home, that is when it became real, and there was a big push to do online learning during the pandemic times when we were all at home and students were also at home. The university gave the students laptops, data, everything for them to be able to learn from home. Yet at the end of 2020, when universities opened again, we were flooded with requests for students wanting to come back into their accommodation. And as it turned out, the failure rates was quite high because of this working from home, and there was no contact learning. Since then, the universities have pushed, and they have really developed a hybrid model between online learning and contact learning. Distance learning, online learning, or contact, in-person classes, whatever you want to call it. Those are all the different words that people will use for it. But the reality is that there's definitely still a big component of online learning happening right now. And there's also contact classes that is required, especially when the students struggle and with the subjects and so on. There's contact classes and support for them at campus. Now, we generally work with 80-90% NSFAS students, and therefore those are students coming from very disadvantaged backgrounds. And if you think about it, even if you drive with your car anywhere in South Africa, at some point you're not going to have a good signal on your phone, even though you might have data, even though you might have the best, fastest connection that you can possibly find. If there's no reception, there's no reception, and you can't use that technology. And therefore, a lot of these students are from rural areas. No matter what network you are on, there's always going to be a problem. So definitely, due to that fact, there's still big demand for students coming in. Right now, in 2024, there's still a lot of distance learning. There's still a lot of tests, exams even, or assignments definitely, that happens online. And the biggest impact that we have as landlords right now is internet has always been a big thing, but right now it's even more important. Your internet must be fast, fiber, it must be stable, it should be uncapped, unlimited, for these students to be able to do their assignments, and even during load shedding, you need to be online all the time. So definitely get a proper internet connection installed, and make sure that during load shedding that you can at least have 4 hours of sustained internet at your property, if not longer. And that is very, very important. I think the biggest impact that we have right now. But how does it affect the question mark about physically living in a property? Because the university requires that contact learning, they require people to come into class. Therefore, even though some things are online, there's still that requirement to come in. Even if for some courses it might only be once or twice a week, the reality is no parent and no student can afford to come in, drive very far. Some of these students are from, they're studying in Cape Town, they're coming from Limpopo, they're coming from KZN, Eastern Cape, and they can't afford, it doesn't make sense, even if you can afford it, to be traveling back and forth once or twice a week for that reason, just to come in for your contact classes. So everybody still wants to be able to live close to the university, be part of the student culture, be part of all the events and activities that's being organized, and is very, very interesting, and creating that culture really that we have in students. And everybody wants to break away from their parents, isn't it? I know my child definitely wants to get out of the property, or out of my into student accommodation somewhere and out of my house, as quickly as he possibly can. So definitely a big demand still for student accommodation. And over the years, 2020, 21, 22, up till today, the demand has just grown and grown every single year. We have more and more students, even though we have more and more properties available, we have more and more students remaining on our waiting list, waiting for a space that we couldn't help because we were full. So definitely online learning does not have a impact on our accommodation or demand for accommodation that we have experienced physically on the ground. And that is that. I hope that allays your fears about demand due to online learning. Bye.